Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. It's Belinda here. Time for Roxy's weekly challenge, and what Rachel made I thought was super pretty. I don't know that I'm going to do it exactly the same, but we'll find out as we go along. I've grabbed out a bunch of different book pages. I've grabbed two of each page. What am I trying to say? 2 pages out of each book. Just to start with, we probably will have more than what I'll need during this video, but I thought let's start with that. I also have this large single page from a book I got at the weekend. It was in really poor condition, no cover, and throughout it had chunks that were either cut or torn out. So some were obviously cut with scissors, some were plainly torn. From 1914, and she was going to charge me $3 with it, and I was like, inside I was going like, really it's like it's ready to go in the bin, because it's you know, there's not a lot to it, although it's still like a book like this thick. So anyway, I said, how about $2? And she gave it to me, well, sold it to me for $2, which I was fine with, because for $2 I'm going to get a lot out of it. This is the very last page of the book, end of volume 9. It's a series on First World War, and there were 13 volumes to this, and this is volume 9. So I don't know whether they've got the other 12 volumes in the shop or not. I suspect not. Okay, so let's get into this. So we need a base and another page. So each item requires 2 book pages, or if you don't use book pages, it could be digitals, whatever, you know, use whatever. Rachel used book pages, and of course I'm going to use book pages because I've got a few lying around. So this one, it's out of a book called The Children's Hour. It's not quite, it's too big for what I want. And I also need to have a journal page at hand, so I do make it the size I need for my journals. So let's go right down to the bottom of that text to start with. Nice stamping strip there. So how's that height going to be on my page? It's almost the height of my page, so I want to take it down a little bit more. I think I'll take off the title, The Children's Hour, because that's the title of the book, and take it down to the title, just above the title of the poem. Not that we're going to see much of it, but, you know, might as well drop it down there, and then it should be nicely within our journal page, and it is. So now we need to do the sides. I'm going to take off this raggedy side. It's really nice, but we're going to take it off. Out there. And now this is going to be my base, so it can be flat edges, so I'll take it down pretty much. Let's go about there. Great stamping strips, awesome. Gonna have to do some stamping. So that's my base. Now this is going to be my top layer, which is going to be a pocket. This is really thin paper, very old. It's from Anderson's Fairy Tales. Like, do I leave that little rough edge? So we need to fold this under for our pocket to reinforce it, which I would do even if it was a thicker paper. And that's pretty perfect. I might take off a smidge, just a smidge of the bottom, just because there's a lot of blank space there. Now let's think which side we might, just looking at the text, I think we'll have that as our back. This is our front, and I'm going to fold this under as well. That's just my own little piece because I don't want the pocket to be as wide as the base. I want there to be a little bit of space there, so I'm going to turn both sides under. And because it's such thin paper, it's also going to just make it a little bit sturdier, I feel. Oops. Glue stick will not stand up if you put it on the edge of your mat, because it's going to fall off. It's going to wibble wobble, and it will fall over. I just proved it. Get a little wibble wobble on. Going to wibble wobble all day long. I'm talking complete and utter nonsense. This is my third video I'm recording today. I think I'm starting to lose the plot. But I know that I've got busy times coming up this week, next week, and then I'm away on holiday, and I have not pre-recorded videos, so I'm just feeling like I need to get as much done as possible. And so far, my 3 videos I've done today, they're just for this week. Like, they're not ahead of the game at all. Do I want that right at the edge? Not quite. Let's pop it in a little bit so we get this surround of the different paper. Do I want a thumb notch? I'm not going to. Rachel did, and I might in some, but this paper is so thin. It's also wet with the glue that I think even if the glue was dry, I don't think the punch would like it overly much. I think it would get stuck or tear or just turn into one giant mess. So I'm going to not do a thumb notch, which makes even more sense to leave a bit more space on the side for whatever we put in the pocket so it can stick out a bit. So this piece is meant to be a loose piece. It's not meant to be glued onto the page, but you certainly could if you wanted. It's designed to either go in a belly band, maybe a sideways belly band, paper clipped on, tucked into a pocket or a tuck spot, something of that sort, depending on how we add our lace, because lace is a part of this project. Just came a wee sip of my tea. I feel like I'm getting tongue-tied. Might mean I'm just getting a bit dry. Okay, and that is the base construction. Pretty simple so far, isn't it? Let's see if we can do another couple. So Robinson Crusoe, and how about music? Got this music for our base, I think. Right, I'm going to tear this because it's not going to fit in my guillotine. Let's take it down to the music on that side. Not going to keep this as a stamping strip. It's a little bit shiny. Right, need to make sure it's going to fit on our page. So take down this bit at the top. Actually, I'm going to go right down to the music bars. It's going to be easier to get it straight. Oh, would you get in the rubbish bin and stay in the rubbish bin, please? Thank you. It'd be so much more helpful than jumping out when I try to put you in. Right, so we need to lose some of that music, but that'll be a good collage strip or something. Okay, and maybe we'll do this one a bit shorter. Different sizes will make it just fun. It's kind of square. And Robinson Crusoe, so it's not printed straight. Oh, I like that side. So I'm going to fold under on this side. So we're going to have our pocket on the opposite side to what we did the first one. Either collage or stamping strip for that one. And I'm going to go this way because if I go by the text it's going to be crooked. Think about there, looks good. And use my mat to line it up. All quite not exactly thin papers. Some of them are thin, some of them aren't, but if they're not thin then they're soft. They're all old papers. None of these are rag papers, so I've just got to be a bit careful how I'm handling them, how I tear them, and what I ask from them in terms of putting things in pockets. Things to bear in mind. Yep. That can go there. I do want to ink around this one. There's not as much colour variation between the two papers. Hardly any, if any. So I do want to just ink around this. Just differentiate between the layers. This one I might put a thumb notch in. So we'll do that quickly. Hopefully it won't jam up on me, given the glue is still wet. No, that worked perfectly. Beautiful. Right, so glue it on the three sides. Leaving a bit of that base layer all the way around so we're not hiding it all. What I just saw, pencil mark on the music paper, right where the thumb notch is, pretty much. I knew it was there, but I didn't realize it was going to be right where the thumb notch is, and I thought it doesn't look right having the pencil marks right there. So that's going to be a good size for a corner tuck or in a vertical or a sideways belly band. I think that's cool. Okay, so we've done two. Let's do a third. I think we've got plenty of time so far. Hubby bought me a book. He bought me two books at the weekend. Both were dictionaries. This is the more modern one, and when I say modern, it's from actually no, it's the older one. It looks more modern. To me, it looks more modern. The paper looks more modern, the style, the colour of the paper. But this is 1948. The younger one, which is massive, is 1967. But to me, it looks and feels older. So interesting how things can vary. Right, anyway, let's start making. It's got the little bits where the indexes, you know, the A, B, C, D, etc. So they're both dictionaries. One is massive. It's 2050 something, 57 or 59 pages. It's really big, and it's got lots of little illustrations all throughout. So does this one, but not as many. The other one also has a section on different languages, so English to whatever language. So it's got Italian, Spanish, German, French, and I think something else. I think it's got 5 different languages in it. It's really quite fascinating. Right, I think this will be our base but that's still going to be a bit wide, I think. Let's check. I think about there looks good. Rachel did call these tags, but to me they don't feel like tags. They feel like more like journal cards, but not journal cards that you can actually journal on. Now you can add papers to them for journaling, and I might do that on 1 or 2, I don't know. I think that's feeling like a good size. Yep, that would be good in a belly band as well. So that's the base. Now this is very thin paper, so oh, there's a shell. This one I might actually put some writing paper on it so we can write on the back, because it is quite thin. So let me just find some paper. Here's a bit of coffee dyed paper that would, and I think I want a bit of the book page around it. I don't know whether that's a good idea given the thinness of the paper, but that's what we're going to do. Just tear off those binder holes, and that was not straight. No one's definition could that be called straight. Let's try that again, but with the guillotine. Straighten that edge up, because that was appalling. Right, now that we've got that straight, we want to go where, about there. Just make a little mark with my thumbnail to where I want to cut, and do the same, just making a little crease mark with my thumbnail, and then struggle to find it. So that, oh, which side do we like? That side or that side? I think I like this one. It's got the speckling going on, which is quite pretty. So that's going to go on there, and that will be writing side. I think I'll use glue stick when I find it. I put it back in the wrong place. So the layer of glue from the glue stick is going to further stabilize the thin paper. So I was tempted to go with just tacky glue, but the glue itself actually firms up any thin paper, so it's actually forms a double function, not just sticking. And then I'm going to go with the tacky glue around the edges, because then I know it's not going anywhere. It's not going to come off, come adrift, lift a corner, get stuck on, oh well, it could still get stuck on something, get under an edge and lift something, but you know, it's less likely to come adrift. That's what I'm getting at. So this one's going to be slightly different. And the idea is that you don't necessarily need the writing space on the back, because we've got a pocket where we will have something that you can write on. So the rest of it becomes purely interesting, which is really nice sometimes to just celebrate the old papers and the interesting language that's on them, or the whatever it is, story, music, numbers, whatever it has on it. I didn't center that, but I think it's fine, and it's slightly crooked. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. We'll just roll with it. Right, so we've done that side. Did I have a page picked out for the top? I thought I did. If I did, I've lost it, or I put it aside somewhere. So do we want to use that one? That's quite a nice contrast. This one, quite like that too. It doesn't matter, just choose one and go with it. So back to having the pocket on the right hand side for this one. Keep putting my glues down in the wrong place today. Maybe it's just because it's my third video and I am totally losing the plot. But I feel good. I feel good having, you know, almost bagged 3 videos. It puts me in good stead this week that I might get something done for the weeks ahead. Maybe. Right. Bit of trimming. I'm just going to trim a little bit off this ragged edge. Check it for size. Right, and trim the top and the bottom. I think I'll leave the title on this time. And I do want a thumb notch in this one as well. I think I'll put it near the top just because. Yep, and I want to ink this one as well. There is a colour difference in the 2 papers, but I'm still going to ink it. Rachel, of course, is not an inker, so she didn't put ink on anything. So it's up to you. You choose whatever you prefer. Make it your own. That's what it's about, making it your own. Taking the idea and turning it into whatever you like, whether it's the same or different or somewhere in between. Elements of you and elements of Rachel's project. Inspiration. Don't they say copying is a form of flattery? Something along those lines. When his father had drunk. Oh, that's all right. I thought for a moment it was saying somebody was drunk. But no, they'd drunk. It meant they'd drunk water or whatever. Not that they were drunk. So that's all right. And I've grabbed the glue bottle that's blocked and I haven't unblocked it. It's been blocked in all videos today. I'd mixed them up, which one was blocked and which one was working. Put them back in the wrong places, you see. Switched them around in my wee holder. So we're covering over the Nautilus shell. That's fine. I wasn't intending to keep it anyway. I really love the book page on book page. I think it's really quite effective as it is. So we've got 3 bases. I think we're going to leave it there for now in terms of not make any more bases right now because we need to decorate. And I have, where have I put them? I've buried them under my cool old page. A variety of like journal cards or focal points, and I believe these are all from Antique Papery. Certainly this one is because it's got it written there. These other 3 I suspect are from Antique Papery, but I'm not entirely positive. I definitely know this one is because it says it. Like, you can't get any more obvious, can you? These ones, can't say for sure. So these ones are Christmas. So shall we do a Christmas one? My problem is that they might all be a bit small, but I didn't have anything larger. Oh, I like the angel on that one. And none of these are cut out, as you can see, so we're going to do a little bit of cutting out. I'm not sure yet about the lace. What Rachel did was super pretty. I'm just not sure that I want to do that with the lace the same way. And my first thought is this, that I might want to put the lace underneath the image, and that's not what Rachel did. So I need to grab my lace. I pushed it out the way. How silly am I? Let me just grab it. I had it set up beside me and then realised my recording phone was actually charging, so I had to push it out the way, the lace, get up, get the phone, come back, and I forgot to bring the lace back close to me, so it was halfway across the floor. That might be, if we put it sideways. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Rachel did torn lace where she could, where it would tear. I'm not necessarily worried about torn lace. I think cut is fine for me, but you can tear or cut. I think I'm going to use my fabric glue once I unclog the tip with all the dried glue. Oh, it's nice and crusty. Yum. No, I don't eat glue. Might have when I was a kid. I really don't remember. I know I used to put the PVA on my fingers and then peel it off. That used to be fun diversion during school time. You know, when you get a bit bored, if something's boring, you just put a bit of glue on your fingers and sit there and peel it off. Great way to pass the time. It's like, I don't know about your school, but when I was growing up, we had the wooden desks with the lift-up lids, and there would be some children who, when they're bored, would dig out the wood. Like they'd sit there with a compass or something similar and make holes in the surface of the desk. Very destructive young people. I never did that, but what I would do is another thing when I was bored was I'd sit there with my eraser, like just an ordinary rubber. I'm going to demonstrate. You know, so you'd have your rubber, and I'd sit there and I'd go like this and make all the little rubbings. You know, you get all the bits like that. Now push them together, squish them together, and then I'd fill the holes in the surface of the desk with the rubbings and pack it in until it was flat again. That was what I used to do. I used to fix the holes. Gosh, I haven't thought about that for years. Oh, funny. Anyone else used to fill the holes with their pencil rubbings? Did you have holes in your desks? Did you make holes in your desks? Come on now. Confession time. Were you one that made the holes if you had those types of desks? Yeah, that's not wanting to glue down, I think, because I haven't laid it flat, but put enough glue under there, it will do what we tell it. Yep, there we go. Just an extra bit of glue. The glue will dry and it won't be a big deal. I've got a corner here that I haven't secured. You don't have to secure the whole thing. It's just in my nature to not have any flappies. Flippy flappies. Okay, so that's going to go over top of the lace, which is lovely. Think tacky glue. Let's grab the right glue. Should be fine. It's got a mark of some sort on there, but it won't matter. It's going to be forever hidden, and I haven't inked around that. It does have a lovely dark edge. This edge perhaps not so much, but it's fine. Push it down into the lace. Okay, now I also think I want to add some additional lace, and this is where Rachel used 2 to 3 laces on each item, and I thought it was just so pretty. Just different laces layered up in different places, not like all on top of each other. What about this one? This is a more creamy, and she gathered it up a little bit. Let's just take a section and have a play. Of course, it does impact on how you can put it in your journal, whether you put it in a pocket or something, because you need to put it in such a way that the lace is not catching on anything or, yeah, ripping off, whatever. And also, she glued and stapled. I'm just wondering about stapling that. You could sew. I was thinking about sewing, but you know, that's such a palaver to set everything up just for a little bit of sewing. Oh, that's pretty. I love that, and I think that's all I'm going to do. So all it needs is a journal card in the pocket. Got some glue strings happening there. And then it can tuck in somewhere. Now I could go ahead and add some writing paper on there. I'm thinking I might on this edge, like just do half, because that's just a single layer of paper. It's quite thin. If I add a bit of writing paper here, it's going to automatically just support it. Is this going to be tall enough? Oh, it might be. It might work. Still get that border of music, which will still be single layer, but I think it will be okay. So we're still going to have that beautiful music on this side. Yeah, no, I need to put it down on this side so we don't have the writing there. Okay, so glue stick and tacky glue. And this is quite, I was going to say wrinkly, warped from the coffee dyeing process, but with the, when we smooth it down with the glue, it should, all those should flatten out nicely. Oops, forever gluing off the paper. I find it hard to do something without writing space, even though we're putting something in the pocket. I just like maximizing writing space. I'm going to bring that quite close to the edge there. Smooth out that tendency to curl. And there, it's just that much more stable. Okay, one done. I do need to ink around the edge. I'll do that off camera. Okay, next one. This is where we could run into problems. These are taller, so that my little bits here may not fit so well. They may be too short. I like this bunny. Shall we try the bunny? It is a little bit bigger, I think. Yeah, I never thought back when I started junk journaling that when I got a printable and printed it off that I would need to know where it came from. Because I wasn't doing YouTube or anything back then. I was just, you know, making, having fun. It's only after the fact that it's like, oh, yeah, it would have been ideal, preferable to have known where everything comes from. I think size-wise we could get away with it. I'm feeling like I want lace down this side. Having a wee dig through my laces to see what I might. Do we want a piece of lace? This is off my wedding dress, this one. You could do like I quite like that actually. Let's snip up there. I like that it's not all straight. When I say it's off my wedding dress, it's not off my wedding dress, it's the leftovers from making my wedding dress. Perhaps I should say that. My wedding dress is still very much intact. I just need to trim that a little bit because it's sticking over the thumb notch and I don't like that. Don't want anything to interfere with getting the journal card in and out. Okay, yep. So going to be a little trickier because it's not straight, getting the glue where I want it. So I'm going to start with that area, with this little curve that's in there. And then the rest should be fairly straightforward. Carefully pat it down so I don't get too much glue on my fingers. Do want to ink around this, I believe. Oh, keep blocking my own supplies by putting things in the wrong places. I better do a time check too. I feel like I've been here a good while now. I lose time once I start decorating because I start playing around with different things, and before you know it, I'm over time sometimes because I just get lost in the process, which is a pretty nice state to be in. But you know, you guys don't want to watch me for 3 hours fiddling around trying to make a decision what I want and trying umpteen different options before I decide, which is more and more likely the more videos I do in a day. When my brain starts to shut down or I start overthinking things. Put that about there, and oh, is it going to stick? Might just have to give that a bit of time and pressure. Just to make sure that sticks. I might have to go back in with the fabric glue if it's not going to. I think it is actually stuck. It's just the ear gaps between the lace and the book page underneath, and then the lace and the focal image. Okay, my tea's probably cold. Not yet. Not too bad. I'm like, do I want a wee label-y something or other? I'm thinking a round piece. So I'm going to the Junk Journal Studios Labels from Days Gone By Volume 2. No, too big. I need a smaller version of it. Oh, where are my smaller circle ones? Have they're in my tray, maybe. Okay. Or I may have used them already. There's a possibility. I do like the circle ones. Oh, here's a little It's too small. Too small. Do you like circle elements? Yeah, those ones, they're all on the too small side. Okay. Let's go to volume 1 then of labels from days gone by. Here we go, this size. No. Do we want one with colour in? No, not red. Is it paler red? No. I thought that's what I wanted, but it's not pleasing me in this instance. And I love these labels. They usually fit the bill beautifully. Could try one of my own labels. It's got a pink, bit of green. Oh, and it's got the Lacy background. Could do one that's more green. They feel a little too big still. One's not bad. Or do we want a rectangle one? No, don't want the rectangle one. That would be a no. I think this one's not going to work either because it's red rather than pink. Although I actually quite like that. So these ones are a printable from mine. This is out of Sweet Moments, and these ones are on Patreon. I actually quite like that, and I like that it's white. I think I do want to ink around it though. I've got a little white showing around the edge where I haven't cut it so well. And it will just tie it in a little bit more with the rest of the inking. There we go. Okay, now do we want to add any more lace? Oh, we've still got some time. That's good. We're not as far through as what I thought we might be. I had thought maybe this lace might be okay. Oh, that is so pretty. I love that. I'm just wondering, do we want it down which side? That might interfere with the pocket though, mightn't it? So let's put it down this side. I do love that. I think that's really, really pretty. And I think fabric glue for this. Just clean off the nozzle now that I've shut it. Glue strings. Oh, I love that. Hopefully it is still within and it is our width of our page. I just think that's so pretty. Love it. Okay, put it aside to dry. Take care of my silly nose. Put the pin back in the lace before I stab myself. I went to an op shop recently and there was a big bag of stuff that wasn't priced, and in it was this lace here, and this is what I mainly wanted out of the bag. And I took it up and says this hasn't got a price, and none of the stuff inside the bag has a price, and it wasn't a closed bag, it was an open bag. And she said she'd check. Well, she came back to the counter and just rang it up. Like, she didn't say, oh, it's so much, do you still want it? She just rang it up. But fortunately I caught the price that she was charging, and it was like $2 or $3, and I was like, yeah, okay, because there were some other good things in there as well, some really lovely trims, actually shorter lengths, but for the lace, some places would charge like $6 for that lace at an op shop, so I was quite pleased at what she, but I was just a bit like, you should actually say what it is before you just assume that I am going to take it, really, you know. But it's a volunteer, so can't be too hard on these lovely people who volunteer their time. I think I like this one, and it is a bit small, so we'll have to fiddle around and work out what we want to do to try and make it more space filling somehow, or we might abandon it and find something else. Sticky fingers. Is this lace? No, it's a bit thin, isn't it? I have some net curtain I chopped up. We do that just wider than our piece. I'm definitely not cutting straight. Thinking something like that, and then maybe we want to ruche this or ruffle it or something. Oh, I like that. That's fun. That's different. So I think the best way is to staple it. So it's got kind of like a little bow effect almost. And then I want to put another staple in sideways so it's like a little cross. Yep. So if you don't like the staples on the back, you can cover them. I haven't decided yet. Now, I'm going to put this up here, down here. I think I'll put it up there, and I'm not going to glue the lace at that point. I'm just going to allow the glue to seep through from gluing this on, but I'm going to use fabric glue for this so that it all should sandwich together nicely and stay down. I haven't inked it, but we're going to trust that it will be okay. Oh, pongy alcohol glue. You can tell I've been using it a little bit in this video because I'm starting to feel the effects of the smell, and that I'm noticing it, whereas I didn't really notice it beforehand. I'm now starting to notice the odour. So that should glue the lace down there as well. Let me sip of my tea while I just give it time. It does grab really quickly. In fact, it says on it, grabs extra fast. It's true, it does. Okay. Just wondering whether I want to trim that a little bit. No, it's fine as is. Let's just go with that. Okay. So, do I want this to be flappy, which is, fun in itself? Do I want it glued down, or do I want to put something else, like another label? This is one of my favourite labels, actually. I've used it quite a lot, and that works really well with this frame here, this decorative pattern. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue the piece with the fabric glue and adhere the lace down with it, and then whatever's not glued down will just be essentially loose, including the very bottom bit, which will be liftable, just a small section. Pop that there. Oops, not upside down, dear. Oop, now I'm trying to glue it to myself. Okay, there. I didn't ink around this either, but that's all right. It matches this. None of this is inked, so it was a good one not to ink. So we've just got this bottom section that's flappy, which I think is just a fun, and it balances out this top. So fun, different ways to use lace, most of which I had not anticipated that's how it was going to go. Do I want another little bit of something? Something down the side. That is pretty. Oh, this is feeling very feminine. I've gone down a very feminine path on this one and the previous one, and I'm loving it. I think it's making my eyes happy. It's making my heart happy, and we can't complain about that, can we? I want it right up, maybe right up against the edge of the pocket. A lot of my lace I get from op shops. When I can find it for a reasonable price. Some op shops, like I mentioned before, do charge quite a lot for lace, and you'll see they'll take a large spool of it and cut it into shorter sections, and then like sell short sections like 1 or 2 meters for $3-4. And it's like, I'm sorry, but I consider that too much for something that's secondhand. Like, I'm after a bargain when I'm op shopping. I'm not after something that I would pay $3 for brand new in a shop kind of thing, in a haberdashery shop. Yeah, I'm a bit funny like that. I like a bargain. It must be said, I like a bargain. Oh, that's so pretty. Do I want, now that I've put the lace away, do I want another strip down this side? Or is it too much? No, I actually like it. It's still okay on the page. Shall we do it? Oh yes, let's do it, because it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Just a bit of fun. It's not a huge amount of that lace left. There wasn't a huge amount to start with, it must be said. That's what you get when you op shop. You get short lengths, and that's fine, because often I just want a short length for a project. If it's a really lovely lace though, sometimes it's a bit like, oh, I can't use it because it's so pretty, and then I'll have none. But you know, got to use our stash, and then it justifies getting more. Just a little excess at the top there. Oh, sticking to it. Don't know whether that was glue or whether it was just the lace. Probably the lace. I think that's so pretty. So we've got our pocket there. Do we want writing paper on this one? This one I like having the text. We do have the staples, but I'm okay with staples actually. I like this. This is a whole poem, so I like that you can read the whole poem. This one's only a part, but you know, you could make some notes down the side if one wanted. But we'll have a journal card in there for writing on, so we're not losing space. We're just not making full opportunity for writing space, I guess, is the other half of the equation. So we've got those two, and this one with the angel on, where we've got our fun little pinched up bit there. This one we've got the lace underneath the focal image and the lace trim down the side. This one we've got lace on both sides, and then the panel behind our focal image and the label, and then our fun little ruffled stapled bit. So 3 quite different pieces, I'd say, although we started with the lace layering here and then we kind of went in a different direction. I feel like this is like just another level up. I really love it. I love all of them. I'm really happy with them. Thanks so much for joining me today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the project, maybe inspired to give it a go yourself and to take it in even more different directions. Whatever you do, have fun, have a great day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll catch you then. Bye.